Hi everybody, this is Jay. Thanks for watching this video, and as the title suggests, I'm here to talk to you about my experiences with the salaries in Florida. I moved to Florida from a big city out in Texas, like everybody else. Everybody thinks of Florida like the beaches, like you see in here, like in Miami and the nightlife and all that. But I decided, my wife and I, to settle in a Central Florida little town called Ocala, and this is the experiences that I've had regarding the cost of living, even in a small town like this. Now, one thing that I have found out is obviously the housing prices were far, far higher than what I was expecting. We moved in January of this year, and house prices have been going up everywhere, and we expected that. I had done my research. It said that Florida was very affordable. At the time, the prices looked extremely affordable. But since that time, especially after we got here, it has gone off the rail. This local article here is a perfect example. It reports that 8 of the 10 U.S. areas with the highest rent increases were in Florida. And that has been my experience as well. The rents out here are very high for what you get. And that's not a knock against Florida. Rents are high everywhere, but Florida, because of the demand and the increase of people like me coming from out of state, has seen rents increase far outside of other places in the U.S. And it took us by surprise, and they're still going up. And that's not a knock again against Florida. Rents are going up everywhere, but the big issue is the problem with the cost of living in Florida compared to other parts of the U.S. So let's take a look here. Okay, so let's look at this chart by worldpopulationreview.com and the state rankings and the cost of living index. They have Florida a little bit higher than the middle, but that hasn't been my experience since I've moved here this January. I believe they're probably a little higher up, and this data that they're using might be old data, but it still will illustrate the point when you see this next data set here. All right, so let's look at this chart here from ZipRecruiter.com. It's showing that average salary in Florida is right around $48,000. And my experience and my wife's experience has shown this to be a pretty accurate description of the salaries out here in Florida. So I applied and received an offer from a job in my career field. And it's funny because I can't but laugh at. It's quite literally half of what the compensation was, half of what I was making in the city in Texas that I was from. And my wife received something similar in her career field. It was a little better than mine, but it was right around 40% less than what she was making. And I get it. That would be okay if the cost of living was what I had researched when I came out, as a lower cost state, no state income tax. The housing used to be very affordable, but in those salaries that they were offering us could easily support a good standard of living, getting a good house and everything out here. But the salaries have not remotely caught up to the cost of living increase, particularly in housing out here in Florida. So here's another example. This is also from ZipRecruiter, and it's saying that Florida is ranked 48th in the United States as far as salaries. So there are only 2 states, according to ZipRecruiter.com, that the average salaries are lower. And again, that is not going to cut it. It will cause you a little bit of headache, and it'll squeeze you. They'll squeeze you trying to make your 2 ends meet. If you're like me, what we're finding is that we're constantly, we knew we had to go into our savings some, and the economy doesn't help. But when you can't even stay even at all with the cost of living and the salaries, it's something that and that's the problem again throughout the United States, but it is worse. My experience is it is higher here in Florida. So, but you can't help but the city is beautiful. If you look at the footage here, you can tell that, man, it's wonderful out here. Like, look at this. It's great. The weather is outstanding. The people are extremely nice. I don't have anything bad to say about that. I like the animals. It's like they call it the American Outback, and that's an accurate description. But you also, in my case, I want to look forward and make sure that I'm still getting ahead. And that's one of the things that I don't think the information out there has caught up with the reality of how things are. But we're in the Ocala area, and you can tell it's very nice. Great place, gives you that kind of small town feel. But you got to ask the question, are all of these investors, the conditions, whatever you want to say, are about to kill the goose, or in this case, the geese that laid the golden eggs? And if so, are they going to just fly away? Because the decision that I've made, myself and my family, is that we're gonna go back to where we came from, and where we were at least making some forward progress. The disconnect between the salaries is a big thing, and it's something that everyone needs to be aware of. And again, I want anyone to take this video as me talking down on Florida. It's just horrible. That's not the case. But the economic situations currently is something that people need to be aware of. And I want to make sure that I put it out there. And everybody's situation is different. But for those who think that, oh, it's super low, it's cheap to live out in Florida, that's not the case. Anyway, I hope you get some kind of information or some kind of value from my experience. Don't just listen to me, listen to a whole lot of other people. And I'll probably drop another video on a couple other minor things just that you need to be aware of if you're moving, particularly to a rural area in Florida, like the place where I'm at right now. Thanks much. Y'all have a great day, and y'all stay blessed.